Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we're taking out the D0-335. It is the A-0 variant. It's overall a fairly good plane and I do enjoy flying it. It's not my all-time favorite German prop, but it certainly has its quirks and can surprise people who may sort of just write it off as an attacker or a bomber destroyer. It is good at those things, but it can also be used in a fighter and surprise people occasionally. Some of the strengths it has an air spawn, which is a huge plus. It has a single Mark 103 cannon in the nose and two also centrally mounted Mark 151 20mm cannons. Pretty good combo. Will do a lot of damage if you can get your shots to land. You don't have a ton of ammo considering the size of the plane. It looks like a bus, but it's enough if you're not just spraying the entire time. It's certainly a strange plane to look at. One engine in the front, one in the rear. It does come with its sort of ups and downs because of that. Some of the ups are it does handle low speed maneuverability fairly well. It stalls fairly gracefully. It has strong flaps, and so you can pull pretty hard in this plane and sort of do maneuvers that people wouldn't expect from a plane of this size. Very good roll rate, if you can see, like right there. So overall, fairly maneuverable and surprisingly so for how big of a plane it is. And some of the downsides are you do have two engines, and there's a big old radiator in the front right there that likes to take rounds. The rear engine likes to die from taking shots, and once you lose an engine, you might as well just J out. You're not really going to be doing all that much, and you can hardly stay in the air with one engine. Another downside is that it doesn't accelerate particularly well. So while it may be able to turn decent, by the time you lose energy, you are out of luck. And it also doesn't cool super well. So I will run mech on the 335 and just open up the rads 100%, just because it does not cool itself very well. I will try to pick off one of these B-26s here, just to get a free kill at the beginning. And then XP-50 seems very intent here. It's actually going to push the head on, and I don't really want to be catching a 50 cal to my engine right off the bat, so I'm going to extend away at this point. He's going to try to lob some rounds. I'm just going to keep going and deal with this XP-50 who seems intent on staying on my 6. You won't be able to climb with planes like the XP-50, however you are faster. Usually what you can't outclimb in this, you are faster than. It may take us a second to build up that speed. He's kind of forcing me to deal with this P-38 early on, so I will do that. I'll take a quick shot at him and then dive out. They not. Now I need to pull really hard down because that was more than what I wanted to do there. Give him a small profile and just dive out. I will be able to outdive him if I can stay out of his guns long enough. Just try to stay out of his guns here and dive, because he cannot dive with me. Keep an eye on the ground there. And we're going to turn out this way. I'm going to lower my throttle at this point because he is not going to be able to lose the energy as quickly as I can. We're going to pull into him here because he's going to be compressing big time, and he's not really expecting me. And that's where that kind of the maneuverability of the 335 sort of comes into play when people don't expect it. So he's going to go down, but I do need to extend away from this Yak 3 at this point. Not really the ideal situation to be in the 335. These guys are both going to sit on me here, so I can hope that my P-51 dives on him, but chances are it won't survive this one. You really need to try to avoid those early confrontations that cost you a lot of energy. I try to stay above the enemy team, but you know, when an XP-50 wants to focus in on you like that, there's not a ton you can do. I do see the P-38 sort of not making a decision on where he's going, but at this point that Yak 3 is too close, so I have to make the decision for him. I'm going to try to roll up and over his nose. I need to force this P-38 to miss here, so I'm going to neg G as he goes by. Get out of his guns, drop the landing flaps immediately. My priority is to kill that Yak 3, but he cut throttle on us there, so not a ton I could have done. However, most of their team is low now, so there is a benefit in that for my team. Should be relatively easy to clean these guys up. Not for that 47 end though, he's going to die. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next game, see if we can get a little bit better action. Alright, so here we are again in the D0-335. Last game didn't really go according to plan. It's not really good at dealing with multiple people at the same time. It just doesn't have the capabilities to do that. And in hindsight, maybe I should have just let that XP50 go and carry on. But, oh well. We're in the next game here, and we're going to see if we can better utilize what this plane is capable of. It's really not capable of pushing those fights after you lose your altitude advantage. So you really need to utilize the altitude while you have it and treat it like you really need to start getting kills, because it's important. It's very important to use your air spawn, because as you can see with our team, they are pretty close to our altitude. They're quite a bit behind us and a little bit slower. But that's really the main benefit in a plane like this, the air spawn and the guns, and you need to take advantage of those. So we're going to climb straight at the enemy team. I'm going to shallow climb here. I see one person, XP50. You know, they're always going to be above us. Their team's off to our right here. This is probably my first prop game on this map, so I'm not super used to the climb patterns. P39 down there. P63 over there. I am going to try to push this XP50 because I don't really want to deal with him later on. I can always turn back and deal with this P63 and P39. Those guys will be pretty much cleanup kills later on, but for right now I will try to deal with this XP50. I think I have the speed to zoom up to him here and get some shots off. Although it's going to be close, so I need to start closing that distance so he has less reaction time. Look down really quick and continue zooming. I do have the radiators open 100% on this plane, like I said before. Yikes, this is going to be cutting it close here. That should be enough to take him out there. At least I hope so. I did clip his right wing, so we're going to cool it on the throttle here, and we're going to nose down. Because we are overheating, I don't think he'll be able to get his guns on me. And we're going to turn to hopefully deal with this P63 that was below us earlier. We're going to switch targets onto this P39. I do see the P51 stalling for us. I'm not super worried about him at this point. I'm more worried about that XP50 still. He shot some rounds off at us, that's fine. I'm going to take this P39 out right now. Down he goes, and we're going to pull fairly tight for this P51 here. And just keep him slow. He does not have the energy to stay up here with me. And he's just going to keep pulling for me. A little wary because those guns are dangerous. We're going to drop flaps, and we're going to dive on in here. Our P61 friend to go ahead and take care of him for us. And now it's really cleaning up the rest of their team. We have P63 there. I think I can probably close this gap before he can react, or at least before he will react and notice that I'm on the offensive here. That P51 I can leave him be. He's distracted and pushing ahead on with the 9T, but I'm going to lower throttle here. And that's going to be enough to take him out. That P51 is going for our H8K over there. That P51's dead, so that leaves me to deal with the F6 and the other P51 here. Being very gradual here, trying not to lose too much speed, because now at this point I probably just barely have enough energy to zoom to these guys. And enough to nose over and dive out if I need to. Something over there in the distance, but I'm not super worried. Have to keep in mind that the P51 has the 20 mils and you definitely don't want to get caught up in those. It looks like they're largely ignoring me, which you find sometimes in the D0-335. People just kind of ignore you, and you can use that to your advantage. That P-51 is going to come in at us, and these two look like they're busy dealing with the P-38 and the Yak-9, so I will push this head on. Again, you do have to be careful because he probably has 4 20 mils. He's actually a D5, so he has 6 50 cals. I have no idea what he's doing, but we'll help him out here. He can go figure it out in the aim or whatever he's going to do. I'm going to loop back here, keep my speed best I can, and go for the other P-51. And that'll be this game. Prop matches these days sort of confuse me, though. There seems to be so much random things going on. People making random decisions nowadays in prop matches. And I think largely it's because prop matches are relegated to a grind fest to get to top tier. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's just where the game is nowadays. People don't really fly props for all that much until they get to... Once you get to jets, you get the new shiny missiles and everything. That's really what people focus on, and I as well. You know, I fly top tier quite a bit nowadays, as opposed to flying props. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just different. And so you find people who do whatever on earth this P-51 is doing right here. Neg G just a little bit. Some rounds off on him. I have no idea what this guy's doing. He's just kind of flopping around at this point. I've got half my team on his 6. Drop flaps for a second and pull with the keyboard. See if I can pull lead on him. He's going to neg G just a little bit. He's going to do it again there. I'm going to lower throttle. Down he goes. I ripped the flap to do it, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, just sort of random movements. That's okay, we get a kill out of it. And I have a feeling I'm going to have to dodge my friendly's guns here, so we're going to neg G and then just pull. And there we go. But anyway, that's kind of a showcase of what the 335 can do. It's a strong plane, and it's a very situational plane, so you need to have the right match, really, and the right matchmaker to be able to get it to work. But it is fun occasionally. It has lots of guns and has a nice air response. So I thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.